Hello my darlings, welcome to this week's coffee break. Yes, I've got the old Christmas jumpers on again. So we're in that zone now, aren't we? I'm going to have a chat with you, say hi, share some musings. I'm going to pull a card from the Wisdom for Healing cards, the personal empowerment cards, and see if anything invites you in. So if you are walking with a question in your mind, in your heart, if you're looking for some guidance in some area of your life and it speaks to you, you're very welcome to tune into that thought now as I'm shuffling the cards. Don't worry about the fact I've already recorded the video. The energy of these things works through time and space in a way which is well beyond what I claim to understand, but certainly if you're interested in it, quantum physics has got a lot to offer on this, so it's very scientific, really. We're quite, in our understanding as humanity as a whole, generally speaking, we're really quite behind the times in understanding the movement of time, and we're really still quite conditioned in it. But feel into, or know if there's a question in your mind. And I will reveal that card in a bit. I'm going to have a chat, and maybe that you haven't got something in your mind now, but something will arise as I'm chatting. So I hope life's treating you brilliantly well. I hope you are looking after yourself and treating yourself brilliantly well. I was thinking about today, as especially in this season that we're coming into, this holiday season, the intensity that can be there for us. How easy it is for worry to arise, and I was really feeling into the topic of worry, and no particular definition of that for you. I want to invite you just to feel whatever worry means for you, and let that be okay. Maybe it's anxiety, maybe it's a busy mind, maybe it's a feeling of heaviness, maybe it comes with some depression or low heavy energy for you. So just notice where worry sits with you. And worry can be a really hard one, because it can really take us into our mind looking for answers. And our sweet mind, our wonderful tool that is our mind, has gathered a lot of information through our life, and it's had a lot of experiences. So it knows some stuff. But it sure as heck does not know everything. And the stuff it does know, the stuff it does know is limited to our particular life experience, and more importantly, the lens that we've perceived that through. So, as a resource, it's useful, but it definitely has its limits. And when we're worried and we go there looking for answers, we tend to get a lot of stuff coming to us about what the things are to worry about, what the experiences are that we've been through that mean that we're justified in worrying. It's right to worry, and perhaps it is. I'm not saying it isn't, perhaps there is some level of concern and action that's needed around this topic. I don't mean to take away from that, but actually the spiral, the cycle of worry is really not useful in its own right, is there? Sometimes we get that feeling come up of something, and it's calling us to action, and that's purposeful. But the cycle of worry, interrupting our sleep, taking away from our relationships, taking away from our health, draining our energy and our passions and our creativity and all that stuff, that's not helpful, is it? But we don't know how to do other. And it's completely understandable. No one's blooming taught us. A lot of people around us don't have a clue what to do about it. Telling ourselves not to worry does not make it go away. It's like, yeah, okay. That helps you if you want to suppress it, if you want to push it down, if you want to, walk around with lots of repressed worry, great. But it's not really gone away. It's just clogged up, it's blocked up in our energy system, and it's only going to pop up again at another time, usually about 3 a.m. That time where you're like, bing, I'm awake, or that time when you're trying to relax and you can't stop thinking about that thing, you can't sit still. Maybe you keep doing, keeping yourself busy so you don't have to think about that thing. Maybe you go into procrastination and avoidance. I do both of these things, so you're not on your own. We all do these things. So What's the alternative? Well, the alternative, one of the options that I have for you is my old favourite EFT tapping. It's not the only option, there's lots of wonderful things you can do. But what I want you to achieve is firstly to bring your awareness to the situation. You know, what is happening for you? What is it that's weighing on you? What is causing this worry? And allow yourself to sit with it, even if it's uncomfortable, for a little bit of time, so that you can become aware of what it really is. And what's really interesting is when we bring our awareness to something, is that sometimes it's just like a part of a story, a part of a picture, or it's something that really triggers a memory or response from something in our past that's really getting to us. And it's actually a very specific aspect of the bigger picture that's getting to us. So say, for example, you're feeling worried about money. You know, this time of year can really bring up a lot of financial worry. And if you're walking around with a feeling about worry about money, as you sit and come into your awareness, excuse me, you might notice that there's actually something, excuse me, I'm choking. Okay. As you sit down and come into your awareness, apologies, you might notice it's actually something very specific about money that's causing you the worry. So the first thing we're going to do is to really, really bring our awareness. And in EFT, we use the term tuning in, just like tuning in a radio to the right station. We're really like honing in on the target, and we're really getting personal and specific and very deliberately honing in on the exactness of it. So if it was worry about money, it might be that you just don't know if you've got enough money to buy a certain present that somebody has asked you for. Or it might be that you feel like you've overspent, and the worry is that your partner is going to be cross or judge you or blah, blah, blah. You know, so just notice what that precision is. And then you can ask yourself some questions as well, like, what does it remind me of? When has this happened before? And just see if there's like things from the past that are feeding into now. And really, it's not so much about the now that you're reacting to internally. It's more about something you've been through before. And so we just find that awareness. And sometimes as we find that awareness and we sit with something, that is enough. Sometimes that releases the tension, releases the energy, because we're like, oh, okay, yeah, I see that for what it is. And actually, by sitting consciously with it, sometimes that's enough of a release. And sometimes it isn't. Sometimes we need more support with it. So sometimes that support can be talking it through with a friend or a counsellor, a trusted listening partner. You know, so sometimes it's a share, sometimes it's journaling or something to move the energy of expression through writing or through words, or sometimes we have ceremony to move our energy. Maybe you like to get out in nature and ground by stepping on the earth. You know, all these things can be really supportive of our body, mind, soul, you know, holistic system. And whatever tools work for you, that's wonderful. I love to bring in the EFT tapping for this kind of situation, because it really supports us as we've tuned into that specific moment to release the blockages, the backup, the things that we weren't able to work through or process, we weren't, you know, in a space to, or we didn't have that support, or we didn't have the skills, and it's kind of backed up in our energy system. And it really helps us to release that. So particularly if you notice it's something which is pertaining to the past, you know, it could be really useful in releasing some of the stagnant energy, the blocks in the energy system around that. And while we're tapping on these acupoints with EFT tapping, it really supports the body's nervous system, it supports the whole physical system, it supports all the hormones and the chemicals, the old adrenaline, cortisol, all that stuff that gets churned out when we're in that response. You know, we're in worry, where all this stuff gets triggered, and it really helps it to all calm down. So we can be in a more neutral place, we can be more in our centered place, we can be more in our adult rather than that triggered little child. And it can really help us to access our intuition and our thinking, so that we can maybe move forward with more useful guidance that might actually help us lead us out of that worry. But the most important part is that we find acceptance of where we're at, because it is okay to be feeling that worry. Maybe we don't like it, maybe we don't love it, but if we start telling ourselves that we ought to be doing better, that we ought to be somewhere else. And us parents here listening to this video are going to be the worst for this, because we're the ones who really understand the value of our conscious awakening, of our journey, of our enlightenment, of our empowered state, and of our learning and growing. And so we can really tell ourselves off when we find ourselves in old patterns, we find ourselves triggered, we find ourselves scared, you know. So I want you to really bring in the self-compassion, that you are where you are, and it's okay to feel exactly what you're feeling and where you are right now. And there's so much beauty in the tension that you're feeling in this worry right now. There is gifts, and there is awareness, and there is new learning and possibilities coming through. But you have to be in it to receive all that stuff. And if you try and rush on, you know, you're going to miss all that good stuff that's in it. So just breathe in it, be in it, allow yourself to soothe yourself and give yourself support and time and safety as you feel this, and acknowledge that just by being aware and being in this place now, you're already moving through it. It is happening. And your job is to love yourself and accept yourself as you are already moving through it, so that you can really allow yourself to receive that part of you coming back to yourself. That part of you that feels worry is allowed to come back to you and be part of your whole and be loved and accepted. Isn't that gorgeous to know? It's okay to be that part of you, as well as that part of you that has answers, that's confident, that's sure, that holds space for, you know, progress and sure-footedness and answers. All of those parts of you are welcome here and welcome inside you. So I'm going to see what our card is that came out. Okay, so this is the card we got today. It's Be Proactive. Today's lesson, recognise one of the major areas of insecurity in your life. You just love it. Okay, and see how much it disempowers you. So notice this area of insecurity, this area of worry, and notice where your energy drains to it and it disempowers you. And identify one small action that you can take to release that insecure feeling. So maybe it's one of the things I've talked about, just bringing awareness, breathing, yoga, getting outside and grounding, or maybe it's some EFT tapping, which we can do in a minute. Your goal is to observe whether you're proactive or passive, since healing energy requires proactive energy. Okay, so proactive might be as simple as sitting with and choosing to be conscious, choosing to be aware, not bypassing it. Okay, it hasn't got to be like a big action. It's choosing to dare to go into it. It's choosing to know that you're ready to journey with it. So if this is speaking to you now and you would like to do some EFT tapping, if you've never done it before, it's very simple. It's a self-help technique and I can just lead you in it and you can join in with me. If it's not appropriate for you to say some words out loud, which is probably the ideal, but if it's not appropriate for you to do that because of your situation, you can say the words in your head, but just put some emphasis, some energy behind it, give it some oomph. And we start by tapping on the side of the hand. You don't need to hold the hand up, but we tap on these points here on the fleshy part of the hand underneath the little finger. And this is where we make friends with exactly what we're feeling. So I want you just to notice the specific worry that you want to release a little bit of today, bring some love to. And you can say after me, even though I have this worry, I love and accept myself. Even though I have this worry, I accept how I feel and what is happening. Even though I have this worry and I don't know what to do about it, I choose to feel it and I love and appreciate the gifts it brings me. I am safe. Okay, and now we're going to tap on the front of the eyebrow here and just say this worry, and you can just notice for yourself where it's showing up in your thoughts, in your body. And I'm just sending you so much love as you follow along to the next point, because it takes a lot of courage to feel these uncomfortable feelings. We push them away for a good reason. They don't feel nice. Oh, but they feel even worse when we leave them locked inside and they start to run patterns in our health and our thoughts and our relationships. And they bung us up. They're designed to come in and move through. Energy is supposed to move. Okay, tapping under the eye here and just focusing on that worry, that worried thought, that worried feeling. Good, and under the nose here, just focusing on that worried feeling. And on the chin, just focusing on that worried feeling. You can go with a big hand right over the collarbone here. I've got my Jingly Bell Christmas jumper on, so it's really inappropriately noisy. Yay me! I'm so inappropriate. Under the arm, even more jingle bells now. Okay. And on top of the head, this worry, this worry, this worry. And now I want you to do back on the eyebrow and just say, and I'm safe. And on the side of the eye, and I'm enough. Under the eye, and I love and appreciate myself. Under the nose, and I am a really good parent and a good person. And on the chin, and I deserve to feel calm and relaxed. And over the collarbone, and I deserve to feel safe and supported. And under the arm, and it is okay to feel as I'm feeling. On top of the head, I am safe. There you go, my loves. Take super, super care of yourself. Sending you so much love. Thanks for coming in, spending this bit of time and doing this tap with me. Have a super week. I will see you next week for our coffee break video. If it serves you to do it, it really helps if you can do a like, subscribe, all that kind of thing, because it just helps people see this video in their feed, because YouTube doesn't really like to flag up us small content peeps, and that really helps me, only if it feels good for you. Okay, lots of love. Bye.